President Biden saying Israel's military has been over the top when conducting military operations in Gaza. That's an impactful statement. And there's growing pressure in Israel for the government to make a deal in exchange for more than 130 people remaining being held hostage. Sadly, many have lost their lives already behind enemy lines. Benjamin Hall joins us now after speaking with the families who have loved ones being held prisoner in Gaza. Ben.
Yeah, Brian, it's very interesting being here because, of course, on the one hand, everyone believes in Israel that Hamas must be destroyed. The tunnels must be destroyed. The rockets must be destroyed. The leadership must be gone after. But on the other hand, you have family members of the hostages saying perhaps people are forgetting about the hostages themselves. And should the priority be to release the hostages, or should the priority be to destroy Hamas? Certainly around the world, there's growing division as well. And as you said, President Biden speaking out very clearly, he seems to think that the Israeli military have gone too far inside Gaza. Have a listen.
I'm of the view, as you know, that the conduct of the response in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, has been over the top.
I will say that even the family members of the hostages believe that what is happening in Gaza is not over the top, but they are concerned. They are concerned that people are forgetting about the hostages themselves. 132 still being held there. Women, children, men still inside. They are still being held, and that's why the family members are speaking out.
You cannot do whatever you want. You cannot kidnap a baby. And the world keeps silence. They're making sad faces, but they keep silence. And asking them, where is this human rights organization?
It's very interesting because inside Israel there's a lot of dispute about what the progress, the path forward should be. Quite a few people think that the government here are putting the destruction of Hamas first and the release of the hostages second. And so that's a debate that's happening at the moment. Many of them hoped that the negotiations over the last week between Hamas and Israel were going to go ahead. And Secretary Blinken was here just yesterday. They hoped that would move forward. They say that any peace deal right now is better if it means the hostages come home. But again, many people are saying no, the destruction of Hamas and the future safety of other generations should be the priority. But for now, nothing is changing. The war continues. They are moving south into Rafah itself, and we think that's going to continue happening quite a lot over the coming weeks. Brian?
So, Benjamin, the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, was just there, and it's been reported that he got a virtual slap in the face from Prime Minister Netanyahu. Whatever his request was, which seems to be similar to the president's sentiment that the operation in Gaza is over the top, it was rejected by Israel.
Prime Minister Netanyahu called the offer from Hamas delusional. I mean, Hamas came with an offer that Israel could never really accept. And Secretary Blinken was going to go down to the crossing point at which aid was going into Gaza, but he reportedly cancelled that because they were afraid that there would be so many protests about the aid going in. So Secretary Blinken came here, he travelled to a few different countries, but he got absolutely nothing in return. And I know he had high hopes at the beginning, but the deal that they were working on, well, that was not a step forward. And so it's back to square one for the negotiations. And many people think that's going to take some time to happen.
Quickly, I know behind the scenes they're saying that the Prime Minister and President have been at odds. First time publicly that I know that he is condemning the action in Gaza is over the top. Is that going to have a negative effect inside Israel? Will that make things harder for Israel, who already feels somewhat isolated around the world?
No, at the moment, everyone here, the IDF, the people, the government, they are laser focused on what they have to do, and that is, at the moment, push back Hamas and try and get their leadership and destroy their rockets. They are well aware of the growing anger in some places around the world, and they know that people are looking at what's happening in Gaza.
Right.
But they feel that they have been attacked, and if you see some of the kibbutzes here and you speak to the families, this country feels like it has been broken and attacked, and they will not let that happen again. So they are doing it for the sake of their country, and they say, we understand the death toll in Gaza is mounting. It is very high. But if you see what happened to us, we must make sure it never happens again. That's the discussion that's going on at the moment.
I let the IDF do their thing. They know best, and they've already promised Hamas to attack as soon as they can, attack back again. Benjamin Hall, thanks so much. Great job. Coming up straight ahead, our top story today, President Biden lashing out after that scathing report from the special counsel yesterday. Dana Perino says he didn't quite stick the landing last night. She's next.